Hello, and welcome back to the Otaku Oasis podcast. This is our second episode on Dr. Stone, covering episodes 6 through 13 of the anime and chapters 14 through 35 of the manga. I'm your host, Joshua, and I'm joined by Matt and Matthew. Introduce
Hello.
yourselves.
Hello, I'm Matt. I'm probably going to be focusing mostly on the science.
Yes, I get to be
You did last
Matthew
time.
for once. Yes, my one dream.
All right.
Did I make this joke again? That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't think you did, but
I don't think you made the joke, but I could tell you felt it.
Yeah.
all right. So let's get into this then.
Yes.
So we continue the flashback from last time, where Senku has finally just created shelter. But basically we see that Senku is unable to progress on his own because he's having a hard time just surviving on his own because he isn't like physically gifted.
Okay.
He's not Buff Boy.
No.
Which is like he finds Taiju like near his area where he revived, which kind of goes back to our thing from like last episode where we were questioning that. But yeah, Senku found him.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. So,
Glad you're remembering. I don't.
Yeah. And so basically, he then like starts experimenting with the revival fluid stuff, getting in like the testing stages, but never like finding like a direct thing for it quite yet. And for which, while Senku is experimenting, he comes up with like a few theories about how humans got petrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, still don't get it.
It's anime shenanigans.
Yeah. But I'm just curious if you guys remember it. If not, I can remind you. But what do you think of Senku's like theories that he had at this time?
You want to run me through what the theories were?
The theories were like one was like that it was like a new virus sort of thing that affects people.
I can see that. Interesting.
The other was a military grade weapon, and then I forget there was a third one, but I can't quite remember what that one was. I think it had something to do with like DNA.
Okay. While the virus is an interesting theory, I'm going to go more of some kind of man-made machine. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say military weapon, but definitely a machine of some sort.
Grade though, like something high enough where the military would probably want this thing.
Okay, I just want to not to be that guy, but military grade doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's cheap enough that the military will buy it.
True.
Like any product that says military grade, just ignore it. It's not worth your time. It'll probably break on you.
True. But most likely,
yeah,
it's something that they wouldn't want general people having.
Yes, no, it's definitely some kind of weapon. I don't know necessarily who made it, but yeah.
And I mean, it's still a big mystery in the manga currently, so
yeah, the virus.
Even I can't give you a straight answer on that.
The virus is interesting. That I am very. I mean, it could be a virus. I mean, if it was a virus, that'd be pretty cool. I just don't know how it. I don't think it is.
So.
I don't think so because we saw the wave and because it all happened at the same time. It's no way it could logically be a virus.
And the birds happening, or the birds getting it first.
Yeah, but don't even. How is it? It's not even birds. It's just that one species of bird. Because there are other birds. We see other birds.
Yeah, I forget what the exact.
A swallow, I thought? Swallow?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was thinking swallow or dove, but I was thinking more swallow.
I don't think it's a dove.
Yeah.
I think it's.
But anyways, so Senku basically continues testing the nitric acid and it is trying to figure out why they aren't reviving. And he says it would be great if he would have basically the other ingredient necessary to make the revival fluid, but he doesn't have that because he doesn't have enough strength. But But Senku kind of figures out the reason why he was able to break out easily. Um, and I forgot that this was a detail that they brought up, but basically Senku talks about the stone thing. We get the thing that hints to his neck and whatnot that didn't like fully fall off, but
Yeah.
he talked about how it was like practically like kind of like a shell that must have like used like kept the body's energy intact somehow because he figures out that the only reason he was able to break out is because he kept his mind working all that time using up 320 calories a day.
I still call shenanigans.
Yeah, but it's anime shenanigans, so there's not much you can do about it.
Exactly.
It's kind of similar to comic book shenanigans. You just kind of got to take it with whatever you get.
And that's basically Senku's like kind of like figuring out, okay, well basically I need to figure out the fluid to pour on them at least to like help the people reawaken because basically you can't have energy come from nowhere, and that's why he writes the EMC squared on his code thing to remind him of that.
Yeah,
Which,
so only people who remain conscious should be able to wake up, but that doesn't seem to be true, because...
No, it's not necessarily that. Mostly, like, the revival fluid is basically what kicks the brain into gear, and basically once you get that brain processing, but also with, like, the revival fluid is meant to help in the process of basically breaking out.
That sounds kind of
yeah, I know it's anime. I know it's anime shenanigans stuff, but it's just how you gotta go with it.
I'll take it. At least they're trying. I mean, I could say there's a lot of different stuff that doesn't even try to explain how it works. They just say, here, this works. Just take it.
Yeah. I mean, they're at least trying to give some explanation, even if it isn't, like, in the realm of possibility.
Yeah, it's just like sci-fi stuff, you know? At least they try.
Yeah. And so then we flash back to the present because they kind of ended on like this thing where it's like Senku saying that like he's gonna save Taiju, and then Taiju is saying that like he'll save Senku in the present. Basically, it's to mirror that they help each other out. So basically, Senku wakes up and basically says that they need to split up, and gives Yuzuriha a secret mission. Do you guys have any idea what that may be?
Something about Taiju keeping him safe or something.
And you, Matt? I don't think you've reached this point yet either, where they've revealed it. So.
About which thing? Sorry, I kind of blanked for a second.
Senku gave Yuzuriha a secret mission. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I have no guess. It was mentioned, and then I forgot about it. By the time I watched, like, well, I guess at that point I watched like all the episodes together. But
you still have like a few seasons left of season 2, though. So.
My guess is either keep Taiju safe, or a darker theory, she's like, get close to Tsukasa and kill him. But I don't think that's what he's going for, because he didn't really want to kill Tsukasa.
Well, I guess you'll have to find out. And so then also Senku gives Taiju and Yuzuriha the mission of becoming spies in Tsukasa's empire.
And we never see from them again.
At least not in this part.
Yeah.
And so...
I'll get back to that later, because it's kind of weird that we don't hear from them again.
Well, yeah, we aren't going to hear from them.
Well, not yet. We'll get to it when we get to some later characters.
Yeah. So then we kind of flash away for a second, and we get the blonde-haired girl that we saw from the smoke signal, fighting with Tsukasa.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest, I just finished watching the episode like an hour ago, and I already forgot her name.
Don't worry, I'll bring it
I
up.
literally watched that
But
10 minutes ago, maybe.
Fair enough.
Honestly, 10 seconds ago.
Fair enough. I did
I
see
don't
that it
know
got set back to episode 6, so I'm gonna guess that was Matt.
yeah, but do you like remember the fight at least a bit?
She gets trapped under a tree, right? Like,
Yeah.
Tsukasa doesn't want to kill her, so he traps her under a tree, which is also
Yeah,
like a way to kill her.
Yeah, I mean, but do you guys remember what Tsukasa said about her at all, or?
No.
So you don't remember how like basically, because like basically calling them like primitive and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess, but to be fair, I mean,
Awesome.
they kinda are.
No, I know. I'm just more of like he looks down on them just because of that.
Well, yeah, which is weird because that's what he wants.
He does want primitive. He wants just fight. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think Tsukasa really believes in his own thing. I think he's like, this is what I want. I don't
He
care.
just kind of wants color in general.
He wants a fresh start, but he doesn't like what that fresh start looks like.
Yeah. And so then we finally see Senku come across the girl, and by using a pulley system, he's able to get her out from under it.
I thought that was awesome.
Ooh, a thing I can speak on.
Oh, go for it.
Pulley systems.
Yes.
The magical thing about them. Heavy thing, not so heavy.
Exactly. It's a miracle.
But free, definitely still heavy.
Definitely, but didn't he have like 3, so it like kind of decreased the weight or whatever it was?
Yes, he did use 3, and that's because each time it halves the weight. So the initial one halves the weight and halves what it needs, and then you do it again and again. I don't feel like doing the math. But that's some percentage of the initial weight.
Yeah.
It's, would it be like 1/8 of the original weight?
I guess.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, 1/8.
I don't know what that is in decimal form.
Neither do I.
I don't know either.
Figuring it out.
Well, actually, it's 0.125, I believe.
Yeah, that just sounds right.
I couldn't do it.
Certainly sounds right to me. I don't know.
I believe I've plugged 1/8 into a calculator a whole bunch of times. I remember it's like I think like 0.125 or something like that.
Glad you do.
Well, actually, that would make sense also because considering 1/4 is 25%, half of that.
Yep.
I wasn't thinking about it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, half of 25 is 12.5. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Good job, Josh.
Yeah, my math was right. So anyways, basically the blonde haired girl is collecting. She goes out to collect some hot spring water for her older sister, and basically is like saying how she needs to get back to the village because her sister is sick and whatnot. And this hot spring water is meant to help her a bit.
Yeah.
From which I believe at this point we finally get her name, which is Kohaku.
Otaku, that's right. I knew it was something long. Or longer than everyone else, I guess, kind of up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, up to this point, yeah. Well, I mean, it's about as long as Tsukasa's name, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, about. It's actually like 1 letter shorter, but yeah.
Stop using your fancy math on me.
So anyways, basically, Senku says that he has a way to get them back quickly, and basically he turns the pulley system that he made into a like a makeshift kind of car to get them to her village.
Yeah.
Anything on that, Matt? Or
On what? Sorry.
The cart that he makes out of the pulley system.
Oh, the cart. Yeah, the cart. Real interesting. How does he steer?
I don't think he does. I think they make a point that he doesn't.
I don't think the point was to steer. It was just to get downhill quickly.
I think it shows him steering, or she says like turn, but he doesn't, and then she's like, "You missed the turn," and
I think that's the point, that he couldn't turn.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he tried to lean to turn
Yeah.
on a skateboard, but it didn't work.
No.
Yeah. So basically we get to the village, and like Senku is about to like go in like with all this, and I believe it's like when he like starts talking with the guards that he kind of comes up with the theory of like maybe there was a previous generation of people who woke up before him and started this civilization.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like that theory, at least when it came at this point in the story?
Well, it kind of has to be. If there's a city she's taking him to, I mean, logically, people, and she doesn't know anything about.
Yeah, but I just mean by like.
Makes a comment. I think he makes a comment
like,
at that point that she doesn't know.
Yeah, I just more mean by like, do you think like that's a valid theory, or do you?
Absolutely.
Did you think it was something else at that point?
I think it's a valid theory. I think someone else had already had to have woken up.
Yeah. And so we get introduced to the guards Kinro and Ginro.
Okay, but the way you question that makes me think like there's something else going on.
No, I was just curious on your like thoughts on it. That's all.
Fair enough. Kinro and Ginro.
And so like, they kind of have like this. One's like kind of straight laced, and the other one's kind of a bit like cowardly and whatnot.
Yeah.
What like just based on first impressions, like what do you think of Kinro and Ginro? And like this can be up to like to the point that we've like read up to. Or watched.
I think that Kinro, that's the taller one, right?
Yes, the taller, straight-laced one. Yes.
Yes. So I think Kinro is a little too stuck up, and I think Ginro is a little too loose with the rules. I think they need to find that balance. But
It's just by having the two.
yeah, that's the point. I think that's the point of their characters. I don't know.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I don't have it like noted, but Kinro very much quickly gives in to Senku's plan, like entrusting him and basically breaking the village rules into joining the tournament.
As soon as the golden spear came up, yeah, he did kind of.
No. It was after the golden spear was destroyed too. We'll get into it later. Ginro's just like, and then Ginro has like kind of a point himself where he proves that he's like a.
Yeah, Ginro has his episode, but even then, I'm not a huge fan of him.
I mean, they're minor characters, so I mean, you know.
It don't really matter, but yeah.
I mean, like they play a pretty big like part in like these earlier episodes, but
okay, so don't get too attached to them.
It's not that they leave; they just take a more smaller role.
Yeah, more characters, the smaller they become.
True.
And then Ginro has like his like a good moment later on with the sulfuric acid.
I did like that. I will question that whole thing coming up.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. Well, no, not that. Just there's one part of it that I really like. Like I have a theory of what it is, but I'm not 100% sure.
No, that I'd like to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it. And so Senku distracts the guards by using bubbles.
Yes. The magic mighty power of bubbles!
Freaking bubbles!
Sorcery!
Yeah. But it's yeah, and I mean like this kind of just goes to demonstrate like I guess just how much they don't understand.
I wonder
Like,
how many generations it's been.
yeah, I mean,
Because it had to have been a while, because they make comments and like stories passed down.
yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have to see.
Yeah, I think we'll get into it more next time.
Yeah, definitely more next time. Um, and
Oh, right.
so,
Character thing I don't get to talk about because it's not in this episode. Well, whatever. That's on me for
uh,
getting too hooked and watching more.
So
yeah,
you get watching.
he kind of watched up through next time's content, but
I
it's
almost
fine.
finished next time's content.
Um,
Good.
oh no, that's fine. Anyways, so we get so basically they were like, you need to like introduce Senku to Chrome, and
Getting
we
over.
get a what?
Sorry, some guy nearly hit me.
You're good. Um, so we get a bit of a science battle between Chrome and Senku.
First, say something that Chrome does.
Um, well, the two things that are covered in like their fight is Chrome does is this thing of like changing the color of fire through
Which
like different.
I do like, because I do know. Did Disney throw copper in to make it blue?
I believe so.
Different metals
Yeah,
burn different.
because I know that's accurate. Because we used to, when I was younger, when we had Christmas lights that would burn out and we couldn't fix them, we'd just strip the plastic off of it and throw the wire in the fire to make it pretty colors. Like that one, even I can attest that one is 100% actual.
Yeah, no, same here.
No, burning metals, they each have their own distinct color that they
Yeah,
don't remember them all at the time, but you can.
I don't remember the minerals, but yeah,
remember
I should have
that.
written that down, but whatever.
I would like to look at that because I want to make purple fire because that purple fire was cool. Except I also know that it's not that vivid. It's a smaller thing. It's like you're closer to the base of the flame. I think.
No, the one can actually get fairly good.
Really? I meant the copper one. I know the copper one isn't turn the whole flame blue. It's just closer to the.
It depends how much you use, honestly.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess we
And
just didn't use enough wire.
If you have it as like a powder, you can sprinkle it over the floor so it spreads out through it evenly.
That's smart.
Yeah. And then also he brings up like static electricity, for in which Senku then takes it to another level. Well, actually, I should say that Senku figures out the flame thing easily because he knows about that, and then also he enhances the static electricity by using the flag that Yuzuriya gave him to enhance the static electricity from it.
That's how he did that. I was trying to remember how he did it in the first place.
It is potassium chloride that burns purple.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Don't know where I'd get that, but
I believe it's in something that you can actually buy in the store. Like I think it's either like, I don't think it's drain cleaner, but something along that sort of line.
Nice.
Got it. And so let's see. And so basically this like the whole thing kind of ends with like Senku basically kind of like saying in his head like, Tsukasa, even you couldn't stop like science from progressing because like even if I was dead, like Chrome basically is like he was able to figure out this stuff on his own.
Yeah.
Whatnot through like his experimentations and whatnot, and basically kind of came up like with stuff that would be leading to other stuff in science.
So that's how you buy it. Yeah, you can just buy straight potassium chloride as like potassium salts.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Senku being the only one to know all this knowledge. Like, why didn't he try to find other people before when he ran off? Like, why not try and get some more of that revival fluid?
Well, because it takes a while. It took a while for him just to revive 2 people.
Yeah, but then we. Yeah, but still, sorry.
That's all good. And so there's like this other thing to impress the like just Crow, like all the village people. Well, not all of them, but like all the ones we've met so far. By using like some of Chrome's material to key Sphere in gold, which will become important later.
Yes.
And after that, like Chrome is like becomes very interested in all of this and whatnot. And so Senku basically decides to give him an explanation of like the modern world to him. And basically from this, Chrome decides to come up with like basically what becomes our first goal, which is the antibiotic for like Ruri, who's Kohaku's sister.
Yes. Who Chrome has that crush on.
Yeah. And so basically Senku then brings up like that there are two ways in order to get like this to get to like an antibiotic. That being like the mineral method and the DNA method, which I believe he says like the DNA method is a bit like
Ooh, Jesus, hold on, sorry. That car was on fire.
It's using living things, specifically mold, to make penicillin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you get penicillin. Right.
But I believe he said like that method's a bit more iffy, and that like the mineral method would be like a bit more guaranteed. Not to mention that they have a lot of the items for it as well.
I mean, if I remember correctly, that's how they discovered it in real life. Someone left some mold out in a petri dish, and it turned into
a very strong green mold.
Yeah.
That they can use.
So then, basically at this point, they basically say that they're gonna go with the mineral type way.
Yes.
And we get our first roadmap of the series.
Oh, there are more.
There will be more.
And they have a big project.
Every big project will have a roadmap.
How many big projects do we have so far in the anime?
In the anime, there's just a few.
Right.
But in the manga, there's quite a few.
How far ahead is the manga to the anime?
The manga probably has like about a season and a half worth of content.
Okay, cool.
Actually, probably more around like 2 seasons actually.
Cool.
Content to adapt.
Okay, neat.
And so, is there anything that you want to talk about in particular about the roadmap map?
Not really, because a lot of the things I feel like they kind of already explained, other than just like there's a couple of things that they collect or like have to create in the process. But a lot of it is just like shifting or combining some minerals that they collect.
I got a question. So, I don't know. How much of it feels like Wait, no, never mind. I can't even talk about it because it's not part of it. We don't even get the ending, and we don't even get the conclusion to this in this episode.
Yeah, I mean they have like nearly every single material by the end of this, but there's one last thing that they have to get from the tournament, which will be covered next time.
I can't believe you didn't try to finish that tournament in this episode.
I just that's how I wanted to cut it.
I'm just teasing.
But anyway, so basically after Senku explains all of that to them, like they keep on asking more and more questions like Chrome and Kohaku, and basically by the time he finishes explaining to them, like it's night and like they're looking up at the night sky, and Senku says like, "Oh, that's the North Star," but then like Kohaku brings up like, "No, that's not quite north," and Chrome does as well because like Chrome figured it out.
I got a question. How does she know what north is?
Her eyesight is really good. She kind of has superhuman abilities,
How does
kind
she
of like
know what the word north is?
well, we can cover that a bit later.
Yeah, that's my question. How do they know what specifically north means and is?
We can cover that a bit later. Anyway, so basically, and then Chrome basically also proves it with his like magnet on a leaf thing, basically showing where north is pointed.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's true.
And then basically from this, Senku figures out, oh right, I just realized how much of an effect 3,700 years can have on a planet, and that the
Yep.
Earth's axis has tilted.
I can't. I forget. Did we? So I know we get an overview of the world as the time passes. Shouldn't have there been an ice age sometime around there? Because I think logically, I remember hearing something that we were coming up on one at some point in the future. Would we have passed one in 3,000 years?
I'm not entirely sure.
Matt, what's the science on that?
I believe it is less than 3,000 years away.
Yeah.
I kind of completely forgot about that until you just mentioned that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're correct on that. Let me search that.
Yeah, I think we're kind of overdue for one.
But I don't know how. Like maybe something's up. Like I don't know. Maybe in their world, that's not
How that
the
works.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Ask me that. 1,500 years.
Cool.
So,
So will we be alive for the next ice age? Awesome. I mean, granted, I don't even know if humanity will be alive at that point. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so basically, due to Chrome's magnet thing, Siku's like, oh, there must be iron sand around here. So they decided to go collecting for it. From which there we run into a
My
character
favorite
named
character. My favorite
Suika,
character. Suika.
which actually just means watermelon. Like, that's actually how it translates.
I know, but Suika's so cute.
No, I know. I'm just more saying like
Yeah.
for a context thing. Um, but yeah, and basically she wants to be like helpful and whatnot, and like Senku's like, oh yeah, you can help collect the iron sand, like, and doesn't acknowledge like that she's wearing like a watermelon mask at all. For which she's very glad about that. For which we get this kind of offhand remark from Chrome and Kohaku, like he just doesn't care. Manual labor is what he wants.
Free labor is free labor to that man.
Yep.
Equal opportunity employer, am I right?
I mean, yeah. In Seku's case, yep. Yeah, and so basically while they're collecting stuff, I forget what brings it on, but somehow the tale of Momotaro gets brought up.
Yes.
Which
I think Senku makes a comment on. No, I remember. Chrome calls Hanaku or whatever her name is, an ape or gorilla.
A gorilla, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's what it is.
And Senku's like, how do you know what that is? Because there were no gorillas in Japan. So Senku asks, how do you know what a gorilla is? And then Chrome brings up the tale of Momohaku, I think, is what you called it.
Momotaro. Yeah. From which, it's not like the original version of Momotaro as Senku brings up, but it's more of like, basically it's like the way that they portray it as well is it's basically it's meant to be a bit of a parody in the way that Momotaro is shown.
What is Momotaro?
Momotaro is like a tale of basically like a boy who's born from a peach, raised by like two elderly people.
Yeah.
And then he goes off to like defeat like some sort of like I think it's like mythical creature and whatnot, and along the way he recruits a monkey, a pheasant, and a dog.
Okay.
By using a kibi dango that he had.
What is that?
Chimidango is like it's it's like a Japanese sweet. It's like a small ball shape. You get like usually like a few of them. I think like on a stick and whatnot.
Okay.
But that's basically like how it's supposed to be. But like in like what Chrome describes is like more of like every monster is buffed up. So like the monkey became like a gorilla, and like the dog like looks like a wolf and whatnot. And I think like the
Yeah.
pheasant became like an eagle or something.
Okay.
And but basically, the way that Momotaro is portrayed is meant to be a bit of a parody on another Shonen Jump manga called Fist of the North Star, because like you can see on like
Isn't that? I swear something Goku has something to do with Fist of the North Star.
um no, but the
What am I thinking of then?
Fist of the North Star is where the meme of "You're already dead" comes from. Omae wa mou shinderu.
What am I? It was the Monkey King one then. What am I thinking of?
That's Sun Wukong is
That's
different.
what I'm thinking of. Sun Wukong.
That's a Chinese story.
Okay, look, I don't know. It sounded familiar.
Oh no, you're good. I know like a lot of the stories that are represented in manga. Um, so after that, after they collected the iron and whatnot, basically they have to figure out a way to keep the iron stand up to 1,500 degrees. I forget if they
Yeah.
specify what type of degrees or if it's just degrees in general at that point.
I believe he says in the.
My guess was they would use Celsius because it's not America.
No, but I believe that when in the sub he's or not in the sub, but in the dub he says that, and I think he says Fahrenheit, but it might be
I
wrong.
think you're right, but logically that would not make sense. I get it dubbed for Americans, but it would not make sense.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying in the dub they say that, but I believe the sub does say the degrees in Celsius properly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
those are two very different numbers.
Yeah, I mean in the manga it just literally says 1,500 degrees, and I'm like Celsius, Fahrenheit.
Kelvin, for all we know.
I'm like, you aren't exactly giving me a straight answer with that one.
I'm gonna guess since he's a scientist, it's Celsius in the manga.
I mean, I'd say probably, but
I'd hope.
with, like, I mean, sometimes with like translations they may like localize degrees, like weathers and whatnot.
But it's so incorrect. Like, as someone who took physics, that really bothers me.
I mean,
bothers me too.
I don't know if it is the case or not, because it just says 1,500 degrees, so it could be one way or the other. So I honestly couldn't.
Units matter, folks.
But yeah, so basically, in order to get the labor needed for this, they send Suika to go spy on the village, from which she does like this little thing where she curls up into her watermelon and just bounces around, hiding in
So cute.
Yeah. And so basically, while she's spying on the town, like she gets one kind of useless piece of information that like the three hottest girls in the village are like, we want boyfriends of like different varieties.
Yeah.
But then there's the useful information of that the basically the food connoisseur of their town is like looking to have something other than fish, from which Senku then decides to use food, because food is science.
Hey,
Food is science.
That's something I like. Food. It's trash.
The food they make?
Yeah.
That was the point. He makes the point that it was awful. But they didn't know that because they've never had anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like the best he could do with what he had.
Yeah, I mean, it's a plot point that he makes that it's not good food, but it's good to them because it's better than anything they've ever had.
True. I think just salt to them is amazing.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, so like basically, Senku brings up like the whole idea of like, because they're gonna make ramen, and so he brings up umami, which is like glutamic acid, and cynic acid. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but is that like true matter? Or?
I the flavor, or the chemical I'm aware of for umami would be monosodium glutamate. So that doesn't sound necessarily familiar to me.
But could it be right? Or
And what did he say again?
he said glutamic acid and inosinic acid. It's spelled INOSINIC.
He said INOSIC.
SINIC.
Um,
Nothing on it.
No, that looks to be right. It's one of those two together can, but I don't know why you wouldn't just use monosodium glutamate since it's a naturally occurring thing in so many foods.
I don't know.
Just like natural ingredients have it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tomatoes are great for that. I believe even strawberries have some semblance of it. But yeah, just stuff like that. So he could have easily gone to that. And personally, that's what I would have done if I was him. But, he's smarter than me. I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's smarter with science, but it doesn't mean there will be a character later on who's more like food smart, I'd say. It's not in the anime yet, but we'll meet him eventually. That's all I'm gonna say on that for now.
Stupid for a second.
Otherwise, moving on, we so they make the ramen, and we hear this weird person first I should say that they make the ramen with like foxtail instead of like what do they normally use for like the noodles? I believe like wheat, right?
Wheat. He makes the comment that it's wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like Senku's like, as we said, like he says, yeah, no, it's bad by like modern day standards, but to these guys, yeah, it probably tastes a whole lot better. Yeah. But basically, we get someone commenting that it would be better if they had a cola, which is very much a modern world concept. So
I wonder how that one works.
Well, we see who it is as they basically reveal themselves to.
Can I try with the name? I think it's Kasaguri Gen.
Yep, you got it right.
Yes.
They'll just call him Gen for short.
Gen.
And basically he if you actually didn't notice it, he's actually in the first chapter at the very beginning during the.
I'm sorry. Where is he in the beginning?
He's on one of the books that one of the science room people are reading.
Yeah, I think we get a flashback to that. I think you're right. I thought Senku was reading the book in the flashback.
Nope, it was someone else because Senku finds what Gen like says is just it's not like meant to be anything because like it's basically like kind of conning a bit because like Gen says he's like a mentalist, so like he's able to trick people pretty easily. Because that's like what he was known for back in the modern world, as being like a well-known magician. They comment like what do you think of Gen's character when he was like revealed and whatnot? Matthew? How about you, Matt?
I'm here. Sorry, I'm just moving.
You're good.
I thought, he looked like a backstabbing traitor when I first saw him. But, that's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, he kind of is, just not to Senku.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I guess I was right.
Yeah.
Trying to move a computer, it's very heavy. Oh.
Basically, so like, and we get like after this, because like he gets like the people that who ate the ramen to help him like melt down the iron, but we get this antagonistic crew from the village being Gen and not Gen Magma and like his lackeys, one of which I believe is named Mantle. And so basically,
I like the lava theme for them.
Yeah. And so basically, Gen fools Magma. I forget what it was that he did. It was something that like basically made it so that like Magma would be fooled to go elsewhere. I forget what it was though. It was like a very it was a sleight of hand trick, I believe he did.
Was it with
It
the
was,
flowers?
I
Or is that later? I think it's later.
think that's later. I believe it was with what was it? I think it was like with just like a kind of like card like thing, maybe. I forget what it was. Or maybe it was the flowers later. No. It is the flowers now. There is something else.
Okay.
Magma pulls off.
You do with
something.
the flowers?
He did the sleight of hand trick on it, basically making them disappear.
Okay.
Anything about that matter?
I generally might know how he did that. That's what I was asking. Is because
Basically, like has it in front of him, and then he somehow gets it like behind him.
He tucks it
Oh,
behind
he's
his
not-
hand with his fingers. He like tucks it up his sleeve with and then
Yeah,
pinched it with his fingers.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought
That's a famous one.
I thought he was saying that.
Yeah,
he
like
did
I-
something.
No, I'm like I think it was like a pretty basic one. I just I don't know the trick quite like well myself.
You can do it. You can do a thing with cards like that where you have it and then you have it pinched between two fingers and you flip it over.
Yeah.
And it stays on the back of your palm. It's a very simple trick.
Yeah.
But basically, then like I think like just a little bit like later, it starts like thunderstorming, and this is where the like the gold coated spear comes into play because
Yes.
they take the magnet that they have and tie it to the gold covered spear, which they shove into the ground, and use it as a lightning rod.
Yeah.
From which kind of in a way like kind of creates like I believe they kind of like create like their first kind of light bulb at that moment. I forget if it was something like that, but
I think the light bulb comes later.
yeah.
Well,
okay.
I think they like heat up something that that shines brightly. or
Yeah, I think
something.
that's later.
Yeah,
after
which
he
I
makes
which
the-
I believe maybe this is why like I wrote it down so early is because Senku like compares it to like the lights of the modern day and whatnot.
Yeah, but I spaced out for a minute. Did we talk about them making the generator thing?
No, we were just about to get that because they
That's why I kept insisting that it was later because I thought I had either missed something or
no, because they get the electricity first.
yes,
And then they make I
the
forget
super
what it's
strong
called,
magnet.
but-
It was like a super duper magnet is what they were making with the
Yeah, but
spear.
I forget what it was that they called the generator. It's
Oh,
like
I
the two
see.
things where they have the two wheels where they have to spin it and whatnot in order to
Yeah,
create
they spin in
electricity.
tandem at the same time, speed
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Do you remember what they called them out or?
No, I forget the name of it. I didn't write it down.
That's fine. Then we'll just move on, basically. So basically, at night, Magma gets his revenge on Gen. What looks to be what looks to be killing Gen, but thankfully Gen was smart, and I believe this is probably just a case like Senku attacked him as well. But he planted a whole bunch of like fake blood on him.
Yeah.
For him, which basically, after seeing the feat that he pulled off with the electricity, Gen said could you like make me a bottle of cola? And that basically is
Yeah.
like Senku's promise to him to like have him on their side and whatnot.
Yes, that was what he promised him.
Which I think, I mean, other than it's like a very like kind of a bit of a petty promise, it's still like kind of a nice moment, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so at this point we Kohaku brings up the idea of the village grandbout, which is basically who gets to become the next chief of the village. And it's being held again because Kohaku won last time against Magma, which is why Magma wanted revenge, I believe, in the first place.
Yeah. Magma's just the worst.
Yeah, because we get that flashback to the previous final, grand bout.
And then he says it again in front of everyone. Like, does no one care?
Well, I mean, it is kind of the way it worked back in the Stone World, but like the Stone Age, but
Yeah.
but it's no, it's obviously not good, and like obviously he's an antagonist, so you know.
Yes.
But basically, Kohaku is training Ginro and Kinro to be more prepared for that, while Chrome helps out Senku with the like what they want to do going forward. From which I forget what brings it about, but I believe just because glass is like part of the next thing that they have to make is we learn out that like that Suika has what they call a fuzzy disease, but it's really just like I believe she's nearsighted, I believe.
Yeah, I call shenanigans that he was able to get that because it should have been could have been either way, right?
Well,
He
I mean,
probably did something to figure out.
well, I believe Suika brings it up, but also she mentions that she can see better through the watermelon, which he brings up the pinhole effect from that.
Yeah, yes. I am not the master of vision. I don't really necessarily know how it works.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, do you know anything about the pinhole effect, Matt, or?
No. But it's similar to like, I believe it is the same effect as like when you look through a tube, how things can look closer just because you're more focused on the point.
A point, yeah. Okay. And so basically, they decide to make glasses for like Suika and whatnot.
What? I mean, I guess they wouldn't have the materials to make real glasses, but I think they could have. I don't know. I guess because the whole character thing is the watermelon.
Yeah, it's literally the name.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just I'll leave it at that. And so they make the glasses for her, and you get this really touching scene with like.
Oh my god, I nearly cried when I saw that. Like, I don't cry at a lot of things, but my eyes were watering up when I saw that.
What?
Yeah, it's a really nice scene where it's like Senku tells Suika to focus on a sunflower, and it's like it's without like the glasses,
Yeah.
so, like her face like naturally scrunches up that we see without the.
Not how I feel about them playing it off that was hideous when she did that. Like, that's kind of offensive, isn't it?
No, it's just like it's just meant to be a bit of a gag and whatnot. Like she has like this really cute face, but then it like scrunches up because like she can't see things and whatnot.
I guess.
But basically, with the glasses that she has in her watermelon now, she can see the sunflower clearly, and she can see her dog clearly, and she can see Senku and Chrome clearly.
So sweet.
Yeah, that's a really nice scene.
Yeah, I love Suika.
At least for in the manga, they end off this chapter with Ginro talking to Kinro like, you could be so much better for this.
They do end that episode off with them talking about it too, I think.
Okay, yeah. With like just basically like you could be so much better for the grand bout if you didn't have that fuzzy sickness and whatnot.
Like, I get they fix it, but why didn't they just do it sooner? There wouldn't have been this whole.
A,
because I know
prevention.
more.
B, because Kinro is a character who just...
It's an easy way to fix this. It was to drive the story where it needed to go, but I still don't like it.
Yeah, but I mean, no, it's I mean, it's just also in Kinro's character that he probably wouldn't want to reveal that, you know?
Yeah, but he's putting himself at a disadvantage. I guess they didn't know the glasses would help.
Yeah, I don't think they were around for it, so.
No, they weren't there for it. I don't think they knew what was going on, but if they had just said something.
Yeah. But anyways, so the next thing is like that they need to like get like the right shape, like glass, like being able to shape glass materials and whatnot.
Matt, you want to talk about this? Or should I?
Let me just introduce the character first before we get into this. So Grom goes into the village and kidnaps this old man called Kaseki.
I was going to say kidnapped him a strong bird. No, you're absolutely right. He ties him up and everything.
And basically they purposely like do this thing where I think they're like making the glass wrong, or more of just because they don't know how. They don't know how,
but they're playing it up to piss him off.
Yeah, and basically Kaseki then decides to buff out of the ropes that he's in, and
I always love old men that are secretly super strong.
And decides to like he's like, oh, I know, like, because like I assume like it must be somewhat similar to like how he does like crafts in this like the village and whatnot.
Yeah,
because like he did make Kohaku's shield. And basically it's it goes to how is it make he like is able to shape the glass properly into the scientific tools that they need.
Yeah.
So anyways, you guys wanted to talk about this?
Matt, you go first.
This man just does not. No, he's like the one thing that I'm willing to spend like my imagination for, just because I can't explain it no matter how hard I try. He just somehow knows glass blowing. I have watched people do glass blowing. I've watched videos on people explaining how you do it. I still don't get it. I think I'd literally have to do it to figure out how to. And I could die by doing it. Because if there's one thing I have learned from what I watched, you breathe in, you die.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
Yes, I concur.
But mostly I think just the reason is just because basically Senku can't he may know a lot of scientific stuff, but he doesn't know how to make everything. It's like
he's not a super genius.
The food stuff as well. Like he doesn't he knows how to make like something quite basic, but he can't make anything quite advanced.
Yeah, he's smart, but he doesn't know everything.
And so after that, basically I think Ginro and Kinro are like, we want the coded spheres for the fight. To which Senku is like, sure, I'll comply, but I'm only making a silver coded one.
Lucky how both of those turned out to be useful. I mean, the second one he made was purposely made for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, the other one was kind of made for a reason too. It
just happened to also help out much more than he probably expected.
Yeah, which also, if you didn't know, kin means gold and gin means silver.
I did catch that at some point. I think someone commented on it in the show.
Yeah. but basically, it's used to help detect when there's sulfuric acid in the air. They need to extract like sulfuric acid from like this lake that they find of it.
Yeah.
From which Senku explains like this story of where like the danger of it because if like of this like one guy who was like close to it and who needed to bend down to tie his laces, but he breathed it in and like died within a second.
Yeah. How accurate is that?
What?
I asked how accurate that was.
Oh, how accurate is that?
Yeah.
He says that the guy just kind of melted into dust.
No, he didn't melt into dust. He just died
He
immediately.
didn't mess. He just died immediately.
No, he made some comment like that. I think probably just to scare them. But yeah, no, he would have just died. He would have slowly rotted there.
Like how? But how quickly did he? Is that quick death accurate?
It's fairly quick. It's probably like it might not be immediate, but I think once you breathe it in, you're kind of done.
It's already too late.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And it also depends on just like what the concentration of it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be fairly quick.
Fair enough.
Like down to the 1 to 2 second range.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, like I believe he said like it basically killed him in a second.
Yeah.
But anyways, basically it just means the next thing that they need to make is gas masks.
Yeah.
And so basically while they're making it, Senku is like, yeah, I don't want to like
Risk
while
both.
while I don't intend to die, I don't want to risk losing both of us just in case it does happen.
Yeah.
For which Chrome decides to refuse that because he states that they are going to come back alive.
Yeah.
After Senku says, "It's not my intention
Still.
of dying," but
Still kind of a risk he was pulling.
yeah,
No, I
mean,
mean,
it definitely
you
was.
want to be strong for your friend, but when he's telling you there's a risk that big, you might as well just accept it. I mean, it sucks, but
Yeah,
could you
but
imagine
I mean,
if they both died?
yeah,
Like,
I mean, it
that's
would've been
game
pretty bad.
over.
Yeah, that would have been pretty bad, but they don't. So
You know, so they win. Good job.
yeah, but basically when they head to the like they're heading to this like back to that lake, but Ginro doesn't go with them immediately.
Yeah, no, actually, hold on. I'm gonna go back and talk about that lake. So Ginro, right, sees because he makes a comment that he sees the person in the lake that we see. Was that a hallucination or was that just a character thing?
It's just basically the what you would call like they basically personified the sulfuric acid's deadliness.
Okay, then did Ginro see it? Because he comments that that Mother Nature was trying to kill him. How would he have known? I get it's probably just a throwaway line, but it did
I think
bother
it's
me.
just more of like kind of like a metaphor type thing, but
Yeah.
The music also slapped.
I don't remember.
The music, I was listening, I'm like, wait, hold on, this music is actually strong.
This music kind of
Like-
slapped though.
Yeah, when they were heading back, and like they were preparing with the gas masks and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean honestly, I think that like the Dr. Stone OST is like really good overall.
Yep.
Actually, kind of while we're on that topic, what do you think of the OP and the ED for Dr. Stone?
I'm gonna be honest. I was not a huge fan of the OP. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh, Good Morning World was just it did not my favorite. We'll call it
yeah,
that.
no, I'll say it now. Good Morning World, I think, is the weakest OP out of Dr. Stone.
Okay. The ED I really liked.
No, the ED is probably the best.
That is, I think, the just like overall agreement of everyone who's watched it is opening not so great.
At least opening one.
Yeah,
Yeah, the ED slaps hard.
ED1 is really good.
Yeah.
So basically, with the sulfuric acid obtained, they're able to make about nearly everything, other than that they're missing the alcohol that they need.
Yes.
From which
I guess I was
Kaseki
wondering why they didn't just
states,
make their own, but I guess that makes sense because alcohol does take a while to make.
yeah, but Kaseki states that basically the village's alcohol is also on the line for winning the grand bout, which basically gives them more motivation to win it.
Yeah. I'm curious how they discovered alcohol. Like, did whoever was revived and made the village, did they know it, or did they just somehow discover it?
I mean, we'll have to see.
Also, how did they know what vinegar was? Oh, wait, that's later. Never mind.
Vinegar,
Forget I said that.
well, I was actually going to mention it's making alcohol. It's like how they figure it out. The same way you figure out vinegar exists. You let something sit for a little too long. It does its little thing, and then you go, "Ooh, this is either like good or bad, or
Yeah,
it kills someone. It doesn't kill someone. You know, that sort of thing."
I guess.
Oh, I believe also before this, I think there was a small mention of the 100 Tales.
Yes. Which is where... Isn't that where the tale of Momojaro came from? And at least from here?
Momotaro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it came from. So, like, what do you think the rest of them entail and whatnot?
Well, I know what one of them is, but I cannot tell you.
Yeah, you can't say it just yet. But
Other than that, I have no clue. I guess that they're like pop culture stories. Like something similar to what Tale 100 is. Where I'm not going to confirm or deny what 100 is, but something similar to Tale 100, and then some. It's probably just the Tale 100 and the Momojaro. So some true stories, some fake story. That one. Some true, some fake. Just depends, really.
So we enter the village, and this is where we get like kind of the first hint that like kind of something's kind of up. Is Ruri, like when I forget who it is that brings up Senku's name, but Ruri is like kind of surprised by hearing Senku's name.
I think
we're left on a cliffhanger on that because she gets sick, and basically they take her away.
I think like the village elder mentions him by name.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because they were announcing like the matchups.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the matches that were set up at least at the beginning?
I thought it was hilarious how it immediately was the opposite of what they had been hoping for.
Yeah,
like they didn't even get a chance to hope. It's like, nope, you lose.
Yeah. And so before the first match begins, Magma's henchman Mantle mentions that Suika is missing.
Well, not that, but Magma openly talks about how he's going to. He doesn't literally says, "Looks like I don't have to kill Ruri because she's already gonna die." Like, how does no one say, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't let him fight"?
Because strong people back in the Stone Age are.
But they make a whole point that the priestess has to share the stories. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. She wouldn't be able to share the stories if he just killed her.
Yeah, well, Mantle just wants control of the village. Basically, he doesn't care about that.
Yeah, but I'm surprised the village people don't.
I mean, I don't know. I can't really speak for all of them, so.
Yeah. I'd at least think the father would have issue with it.
Yeah. And so,
fuck the rules, it's your daughter. Why don't you care?
No, I mean...
Sorry, I just realized I cursed and you're gonna have to maybe bleep that out. My bad.
No, you're good. It's when it only matters when Eric is around, yeah.
Cool.
Otherwise,
that's some bullshit. I'm sorry.
You're good. And so we get the first match between Kinro and Magma.
Yes.
Kohaku goes off to try and save Suika, but Suika gets back safely on her own by escaping.
Yes.
And comes in with the save for Kinro.
Ah, yes.
At least from the looks of it.
Wait, hold on. Repeat that? I spaced out for a second.
Suika comes in with the save, and Kinro wins by the looks of it.
I'm wisely keeping my mouth shut.
Yeah, I know. But basically, that's where we end. What do you think, at least, of the fight up to that point?
It was a good fight. Really wish he would have, announced, just talked about the fact that he couldn't see for your dog doo-doo. But
I mean, otherwise,
it was a good fight, yeah. That's about all I have to say, really.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is kind of a weird thing. Like, normally I'm like, tournament arcs in shonen battle mangas are all pretty fun, but since this isn't like a traditional shonen battle manga, I'm
serious, too. Like, it can't be fun. It has to take itself seriously. With the stakes that are on hand, like, I don't think they have time to play around with it. At least, they try at some points.
I just more mean by, honestly, the tournament arc is just kind of in this. Like,
actually, I really enjoyed it. Like, having seen all of it, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good one.
I've seen better tournament arcs.
And
I think My Hero's tournament arc is way better.
I mean, I still have issues with My Heroes, but that's not the story. It's not because of the tournament itself. It's how it ends.
Yeah.
But that's
at least the tournament played straight through, unlike many Dragon Ball Z tournaments, which were ended halfway.
True.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's about it. Next time we will be covering episodes 14 through 17, and covering chapters 36 through 45.
Wait, 13 through what again? I know you just told me and I was not listening.
14 through 17.
13 through 17. Cool.
And then I already stated the manga chapters. Yeah. Anyways, that was about it for this episode. Do you want to give your shout out, Matthew?
Twitch.tv/Tyrian King, TYRIANKING.
And the link will be in the description as well. Anyways, thank you for watching, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.